Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, captions on this video were provided by Liara. And Minecraft 1.21 has finally arrived, so at long last we can open up our own vanilla worlds and attempt to do all the stuff the hermits have been doing with the crafter, like using it to build a train, for example. There's no news on exactly when the server will update to the full 1.21 experience, since they have a few client and server-side mods to worry about, but we're looking forward to seeing the world border rolled back and the hermits unleashed on the Tricky Trials update. And so are some of the hermits actually, because their copper trapdoor recipe is about 9 times more expensive.
But with each one of these currently being 54 copper ingots, I don't think so.
And we aren't sure if they're getting antsy waiting around for the big upgrade to happen, but some of them seem to have chewed through the bedrock. So make sure your hermit gets plenty of rest, food, and regular exercise while we take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with Pearlescent Moon, who seems to have gone into a cocoon for 12 hours and emerged as a redstone master.
Say the line!
But with a couple of item sorters, it was actually quite simple. Thank you for the help.
This is incredible.
Pearl's crowning achievement this week is having created Wordle using purely survival redstone, with dyes and or flowers providing the letters players can deposit into a set of 5 dispensers and be told whether their guesses were correct, or even whether they used the correct letters but in the wrong places. This all comes together in a first for Pearl, a redstone time-lapse. Seriously, what is this? A DocM77 video?
See, I'm getting game brain. It's getting there.
I love it.
I now know where it works, so I'm happy.
Congratulations.
When a redstone man arrives to playtest the game, unfortunately he doesn't know any real words, despite his own name being a 5-letter word that's honestly a pretty solid Wordle start. Incidentally, B-Dubs also has a 5-letter name, but his vocabulary is more suited to the gameplay.
Snout. All right, I'm gonna try.
Oh, he's going for words.
Both are successful in their guesses, and Pearl time-lapses together the rest of the interior to make the game as pretty on the outside as it is on the inside.
Sadly, I couldn't get the arrows to be on the upper half of the block, but hopefully that's kind of all that's needed here.
Greatly impressed with Pearl's redstone prowess, Tango Tech gives the Minecraftized Wordle a try, but in general this week for him spells Copper Farm. Using the zombie reinforcement mechanic, Tango quickly ramps up the drown production to where there are more mobs than frames on the screen. To combat the issue, the farm gets a switch between 2 states, the getting to it and the oh god please stop one. And call me a skeptic, but I don't feel like any of these zombies are reinforced.
I did a little bit of redstone up there. So when this turns on and off, Tango, this piston's gonna pull back and it's gonna turn that light on and off.
Amazing.
Chasing the rates just the same, Zenaf revises his double spawner blaze farm to use minecarts, and the increase will surely be appreciated by all 0 customers his magma shop has scored.
No, these aren't selling, even at this price. Even the cold cakes are selling better than the hot cakes.
But the Zenaf content I'm sure you can't wait for us to talk about is him and Tango breaking one of the fundamental rules of Minecraft just so they can do 20 minutes of whole word improv. That happens.
I see your hole already, it's right here. What? Oh, you have a void hole right now.
Well, yeah, your hole is little. My hole is, much more, you know.
Why isn't your hole larger?
How about this, though? Don't go up the hole until both people are near the hole.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So I'm going to have a pink hole.
Red. Obviously, my hole's going to be red. Yeah.
Okay, well, just go see a doctor about that, sure.
The idea here is to have an express route between their bases in the void under the lowest bedrock of the overworld. By now, the trick to break bedrock with TNT and piston is well known to the hermit kind, as is the fact that you can keep an animal jumping on a lead down there. So the dynamic duo mark their bases with coloured sheep and end up with the most convenient elytra path between the 2 bases if, you know, the sky didn't exist.
Below bedrock, what do you say? What's the clearance between bedrock and your head?
Oh, my bad. Oh, zero amounts.
Impulse SV and Skizzleman are also invited over to try the latest innovation in base-to-base transport. Impulse takes to it pretty quickly. Meanwhile, much as we don't like to chuckle at others' misadventures, it's pretty funny watching Skiers lose a second set of elytra to the realization that he's flying with explosive fireworks.
Ow! Ow! Oh, I'm using fireworks!
It gives the rest of the voice call plenty of opportunities to record more screams, which are coming in surprisingly handy if you want to hear when your nether portal ejects another zombie piglin.
Ah, what nice! Watch, what? Wait, listen.
Skiers will get his revenge, of course, once people start running, swimming, jumping, and dying in the gauntlet he's building in Tier 1 of his hierarchy of needs base. And as if they weren't already dressed like a wrestling tag team, the Popo has its own entrance music. Let's just hope B-Dubs' courthouse doesn't sentence you to hell in a cell!
Hit us with it.
That's the son of the Popo. Permit office on patrol. Is what they're going to hear. That's our siren coming through. Okay?
If you're on the run from the law, you should also look out for the law. Impulse SV's obstacle course doesn't quite have the danger of death that Flying Below Bedrock has, but it does now have a story attached. Impulse basically wrote a graphic novel that ended up voice-acted and animated in his latest episode, revealing that the whole minigame city is going to be a quest to retrieve generator parts from its various minigames, all within a time limit. So while it can be played competitively, the goal is for it to be a single-player experience as well, which is more humane than having a warden in a hockey mask chase you the entire time you're trying to fix the generators. This week, Impulse also wires up a door you can throw a snowball at to enter, leading to a secret tunnel through the mountain.
There's a couple other options you could use to open the door, but I went with Snowball because I thought it would be cool.
Though he hits none of Cub fans' patented secret bases on the way, his chance of stumbling into a Cub made hole on the server has increased significantly. Having run out of diamonds to craft into fireworks, Cub has now spent at least 20 extra hours mining one way or another.
Yes, right here. So we're going to go mining for a total of like 10.5 hours, and we're going to compare the results we get from this technique with other techniques that we've done in the recent past.
The one way he was mining is the one-block tall crawling method. The other way turned out to be a TNT duper drill.
This is Ilmango's tunnel bore design, by the way. The same design that I believe Doc uses on the Hermitcraft server.
Which has only shown itself a little more diamond efficient than crawl mining, owing much to the fact that Cub counted the time spent building the giant Ilmango drill as part of the 10 hours. Mainly the conclusion seems to be that if you want thousands of diamonds, you'll have to dig a lot. But the exact data is very fun too, which is why you'll have to check out Cub Fan's video and check his math on your own. False Symmetry, in the meantime, has been digging out labyrinthine structures below her base for free. As she's still moving into her tubular home, False just now installs the super smelter, right across from her mailbox, mind you, so that's a good sign for all incoming correspondence.
I don't know, this could also be taller, but I kind of like it being kind of cozy and cramped.
One letter she doesn't burn for sure, however, is the Mission Possible promo that leads to her first sanctioned prank, as opposed to the unsanctioned ones she's been doing anyway.
I got some thinking to do. Okay, after some thinking and some planning.
Prank, symmetry, music, and all, False is tasked with hiding an occasional note block in someone else's base, and her chosen target is Azuma Void's storage room, which may spiral out pretty significantly, given that she picked the Wandering Trader sound as the thing to occasionally go off from under the floorboards. The telltale "hrr," if you will.
I think it just comes up there, but like, there's no... Oh, oopsie. 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 It was mean to me, and then I was mean to it, and now we're even, but also I would like a prize, please, but...
As per usual with the horrors, we have to bring up Zombie Cleo, but this time we should get a pass because they did, after all, summon a demon. Between SOS and Empires, this sure is a flashback episode, huh? The reason Jeff the Droog demon is here is that this is a wizard tower, and there's a whole summoning circle and plenty of other armor stand-powered decorations across the walls. And there's a gamer rig one house over, too.
I'm so pleased about this little computer. This is a shield on like a little armor stand.
Despite, or maybe because of the Empire's flashbacks, Joel Smallish Beans invites Cleo to also build a tribute statue in one of his Japanese temples. He does not specify to whose wife.
So I was thinking something involving me and Jimmy, but then you have creative range. How about that? How does that sound to you?
Oh no.
Don't make it weird. Why are you making it weird? Why are you saying oh no like that?
Rendog, on the other hand, has summoned a Gigacorp safety briefing for you to tacitly ignore, because it's funnier if you don't know how unsafe you're being.
Thanks to the tireless efforts of both Gigacorp scientists and explorers, Gigacorp scientists.
Safety isn't the highest priority for Gigacorp's hired helpers, but even Ren admits the stonemasons could use better accommodation. So the latest module in the space base is a set of apartments where they can use their unguarded saw blades to produce unlimited quartz, surrounded by high-tech, space-grade colored concrete. And it's a good thing he's not relying on them for terracotta, because the shorties busted in right when he was working on his Azuma impression.
I literally don't know anything about what's going on. At all.
And while their terracotta shop is paper thin, at least it's delivering the goods. By contrast, XP Crafted's Ocean Monument is rock solid, especially now he's added the legs back in a way that makes mathematical sense. But it's almost too solid, so he decides to add windows. Windows everywhere.
Oh, I'm so happy to have like a direction for like the spawn chamber. The spawn chambers, they've been haunting me.
The two biggest windows, however, are the viewports into the spawning tanks for Guardians, modeled after the Guardian farming nodes in his Season 3 base, but with a more modern approach, because now prismarine stairs are a thing.
Think any Guardians are gonna be dying right there. I mean, we could cover it in fires or something.
He's also planning a storage room underneath the monument, but naturally that's still in the early stages because there's so much room for activities. And finally there's Doc M77, who left his car parked in the shopping district with the windows down and the wallet on the dashboard, and is now complaining someone took a couple of dollar bills.
And look at this! Another ore block taken. And it was even worse. There was redstone on top! That's a serious offense.
Of course, to demonstrate the pain of having his ores snatched, Doc has to go and kill Cleo's hard-earned pig. So now, after promising justice on whoever took the diamonds, he's going to court as the accused for something completely different.
How did that feel?
It feels like you've just earned my ire, and I need a water bucket.
I just wanted
You got iron?
I bring you a pig.
No, you started this.
So far, his prime suspect is Good Times with Scar, who has been acting innocent, possibly the most suspicious thing one can do on the Hermitcraft server. And woe betide Scar if it does turn out to be him, because Doc does his usual thing of threatening to make the game virtually unplayable for whoever it turns out did this.
But hey, my defense is emotional distress. That's at least what I'm gonna try in court.
Meanwhile, the game gets even more playable for Doc himself, who resolves to acquire more diamond ore by rebuilding his tunnel bore even flatter and adding more wardens to it. He might actually need the diamonds though, because the armor trim store will need a heavy investment to make sure he can stock enough trims now that it has a proper shop built around it. He's sure as heck not going to recoup the diamonds from sales, because he's still planning to charge for purchases in sand. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.